Over here.
Okay. Now that we've seated the Paris peace talks here, let's commence with the Community Development Economic Strategy Redevelopment Planning Board Workshop of today. And I'll turn it over to the CEO.
Thank you. Just a brief introduction for you. I just wanted to reassure the board we are doing economic development. It's, every member of the executive office staff has a role to play in economic development. Each of us are making contributions toward it. Allison Glassy, our Assistant Chief Executive Officer, will be conducting the workshop for you today, and I understand we'd like to try and keep this fairly tight, so we've set a goal that we'd like to be done around 3, so we'll move fairly quickly. Allison?
Thank you. As part of the overview, I want to kind of say what the workshop is and what it isn't. And what it is kind of a culmination of the presentations and discussions we've been having throughout this year. Starting in March of this year, there was another presentation in May. There was another one in, I believe there was one done in July sometime and in August. And now we've got this. And this is intended to be kind of a wrap-up of as much as you can ever wrap up the topic of economic development. It's intended to kind of bring all the different threads together, show how they relate to each other, and seek direction from the board. So what is this workshop not? It is not intended to be a major public exposition of the county's economy or the county's strategies. What it is intended to be is kind of a check-in as to what you as a board see as the role of the county in general and the executive office specifically in the realm of economic development, community development, redevelopment planning, kind of showing the ties among those topics, the roles that we are playing currently, and to get additional direction. As you know, that's an ongoing discussion. It's not something you have a meeting, say that's what it is, and that's what it is forever. It's a discussion that we will need to revisit over the next several months, and basically each year going forward to see where we are with that whole process. You'll note with the agenda that is part of the packet, and for the public there are agendas and all the materials out on the table in the hallway. We have attempted to come up with a workshop that fits within the time frame that the board has recently asked us to meet, and so we will be moving very quickly through this, but we are hoping still to have the board discussion under the second to last topic that we consider to be a very important part of this. So that's an overview of the workshop. And what we're going to start off with is a brief presentation by Steve Duncliffe in our office on the current county economy, just kind of a flash to orient us to where we are right now. Then a quick run through of what the elements of economic strategy are and how they fit together. We'll talk real quickly about the SEDS planning process and the steps in that. And then, again, the final focus being toward a county philosophy of economic development and really looking at what it is we're doing now and direction that you'd like to give us for the future. So, any questions about the overview of the workshop? Hearing that, then Steve will start off with the current county economy. And maybe somebody could like to do it. I'll do that. You can start.
This way.
Okay.
And Sue, we have half the lights on? Anybody?
Nope, that's great.
Okay.
Okay. So, thank you all for the time. I'm just going to sort of briefly go through and talk about our economy, you know, some of the economic-based industries, trends, and forecasts. And I need to give special thanks for some of the substantial research and information on this to Dr. David Gallo from CSU Chico, the Workforce Investment Board for some data that they retain and collect, and Dennis Mullins from the state EDB. So economic-based industries, just so that we're all working off the same definition, it's any industry that brings dollars into the economy from outside the area. So outside dollars, it can include the production and outside sales of goods and services, which is, we've got with agriculture, timber, wine, any activities or services that draw in outside spending. So, a car mall or the car dealerships that are in the Ukiah Valley, if they're bringing in anybody from Lake County or Sonoma County, it's part of the economic base. DMV offices, government can play part of the economic base as well. So Social Security offices, and then any outside spending drawn to the area from the quality of the local amenities. So tourists and retirees bringing in outside dollars. This is 2006. I've got some different charts and graphs for you throughout here, and it's important to look at the year because I think that, in particular with this graph, sometimes the picture would have changed a little bit in the last 2 years. We're in sort of an unfortunate period right now where we don't quite have the final numbers for 2008. So our most recent data for 2007 is almost 12 months old right now. But, some of the highlights and interesting things is, there's $95 million of output for logging. Wineries is $280 million. State and local non-educational is $261 million. So there's certainly some large numbers up there.